Welcome to the Brain Health Hookup. I'm Laurel Myers-Hurst, your resident groovologist, and I believe that better mental health needs to be fun. Here we talk about mental wellness, we explore the physical, emotional, and relational needs we have as humans with the science and practices that help our mental health to flourish. Plus, we dive into my signature method, groove therapy, that engages folks in groove-based music making to lift mood and lower inflammation and pain. I'm so glad you're here. So let's hit it.
Well. Now that's a deep subject.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for being with me today. Rebecca Paciorek is one of the inaugural WellTuned Women. She is an entrepreneur in her own right for many years, serving the needs of authors in their book development process, in promotion of their book, and just a one-stop shop for women who want to get their message into the world in fiction and nonfiction circles. And I brought Rebecca in today because she won our award among the inaugural WellTuned Women for the most participatory. And Rebecca puts her heart and soul into everything she does, and I know she's going to be a delight today. Thank you, Rebecca, for being with me.
Aw, thanks, Laurel. I appreciate that. I really had fun too and learned so much about myself and gosh, all the things you teach that I just didn't know about.
It's interesting you say all the things you didn't know about because you had invested quite heavily in your health for a couple of years before you came into the WellTuned Woman program. So I think you were trusting me to be able to deliver something to you when you joined WellTuned Woman. But now that you've finished it, how do you see it as being unique to other places or other styles, other types of care you got?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Actually, I think the most unique thing to me was the group camaraderie and the people being in there because I hadn't experienced that before as a participant. You know, I had only met with doctors and nutritionists and things like that. I had not done any sort of group therapy or group support work for mental health and brain activity. So for me, that was a really good aspect and very new for me.
I often say the well-tuned woman is for people who are told by other healthcare providers that everything is normal, that
Yes.
what they're experiencing is kind of wear and tear, and this is sort of what you can expect at this age. But women like you aren't satisfied with that message. It's like, I know there's something better. Tell me more about that.
Yes. Well, I had been trying to lose weight my entire life. And basically, I think after this and some of the other things that we, talked about, I'm realizing now from last year, particularly, that I did not end up needing to do weight loss surgery. I did weight loss surgery in 2019. I was one of the rare people that lost hardly any weight, even though I did all the things. It was very frustrating. And I kept saying, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And, like you said, if I participate in something, I'm all in. And so I did everything they told me. And I was lucky to lose a pound in a month. And I would see all these people just dropping all this weight. And in the meantime, my type 2 diabetes wasn't really improving. And that was the main reason I decided to do the weight loss surgery. I had lost 40 pounds on Weight Watchers, and my A1C jumped from 6 to 12, even though I lost 40 pounds. It was insane. And they're basically like, well, we don't know what to do for you. I had met with nutritionists afterwards, like so many things. And I think now, knowing what I know now, after taking it upon myself and reaching out to you and anyone I could, right, to learn more, I think it was all inflammation. I think it was all the hormones. It was the cortisol, and menopause. And had I known all of that beforehand, I don't think I would have cut out 75% of my stomach. I mean, don't get me wrong. That surgery is great. It changed my life because it put me on the track of knowledge. And so, yeah, it was just, like you said, I couldn't take that as an answer.
Wow. So the well-tuned woman, even though you had pursued every option, including the drastic measure of surgery, the well-tuned woman introduced concepts to you that helped you further along on your healthcare journey, really looking at the root causes. I call them like the wellness gold mines that
Yes.
we're not diving into, that every woman deserves to have, that
Mhm.
kind of like the nuggets of gold that help us flourish. And you mentioned too how different it is to do a wellness program with other women. What
Yes.
makes doing this with other women so different?
They get it. My endocrinologist is actually a man. And, while I really like him, like I saw an endocrinologist for the first time in 2023, even though I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes like 20 years ago. I don't know why I never saw an endocrinologist. No one told me to do that. He's fabulous, but he doesn't get all the menopause, the perimenopause thing. And because I had a hysterectomy at the very end of 2023, I just felt like a crazy woman,
Mm.
like that drastic drop of all those hormones. And I needed to know that I wasn't alone. Like that to me was just so worth the cost of admission, right? To know you're not alone and that, I seriously, like, I thought I was crazy. I mean, not that I don't have issues. We all have some things, right, that we're working on. But I really thought something was like seriously wrong with me. I thought I was getting Alzheimer's or dementia. And knowing that, okay, yes, I get that the doctors were saying there's nothing wrong with you. This is normal, but it didn't feel normal. And talking to the other ladies within the group and seeing everyone's experiences and yours, because sorry, Laurel, to out you, but you are of the same age, we're kind of the same age. And to be with other women that are experiencing the same thing. And particularly several of the women in the group, like me, like you, are entrepreneurs as well. And so for me, that doubly assisted because I already, I always feel like my amazing friends that I have, they don't totally get my life because of being an entrepreneur. And then you throw in menopause and all of these other things on top of it. Like I said, I seriously, I thought I had Alzheimer's going or something. And so, yeah, the community of women being able to come together and just share those experiences that's phenomenal to me.
Yeah, the well-tuned woman definitely attracts leaders. And I've been saying lately, the well-tuned woman is for that woman who wants to feel as well put together on the inside as they look on the outside. Because
Yeah.
when we're leaders, we're used to doing so much to make sure other people's needs are met, our commitments are met, and then inside we may feel like we're crumbling. And like you said, being shoulder to shoulder with other women who are making that their responsibility and becoming healthier instead of
Yeah.
less healthy in the process is so important. You've been such an advocate for my book, Groove Therapy. And before we started this session, we just wanted to, feature a quote from page 75 in chapter, I forget what chapter this is, 4 or 5, but it says, the philosopher Christian de Quincey said, we are definitely not alone. We don't form relationships, they form us. We're each a hub for countless connections to others. That's my opinion, definitely. This
Love it.
truth reveals infinite complexity of which we are seldom fully aware. This is the concept of intersubjectivity. Intersubjectively, we aren't looking at ourselves for what we are or at others for what they are. Instead, we're looking at the community for what we are becoming together. And the well-tuned woman is definitely one of those places. One of the exceptional opportunities in the well-tuned woman is the opportunity to drum together. In North American culture, this is a rarely available event that people get to drum together. Certainly, I am not a culture bearer of traditional drumming, but I've been welcomed into the practice. What did it feel like to be welcomed into the practice of drumming for you, Rebecca?
At first, I just thought it was fun. I didn't really connect the mental health aspect of it, I guess, until the retreat. Truly, I just thought, okay, this is fun. And it's like a stress relief thing. And so it was really neat to, first of all, try it because I'd never heard of it before. But then to again do that in community and try to stay in sync with everyone when we were doing it, together, that was just another part of that community thing. I think that added to it, right? Like that we each kind of like, okay, well, if I didn't play and we were in a group, it didn't sound the same. Does that make sense? That might sound a little weird, but it's a different sound if we're all playing together versus one person. That was neat to me.
Truly, you mentioned the first chapter of my book of the content of groove therapy is that if our voice is not in the mix, then there's something missing in the world.
Yes.
That every single one of us is worth the place that we are in. We're worthy of safety in that place as well. So whether we're holding our own, or like you say, we're moving in tandem with other people, or even sometimes when we're in friction against someone else's part, that the truths about being a human with other human beings that we learn from practicing groove are so important. There is something tangible. It's not just a symbol of what is happening. It is what's happening in real life, in real time between human beings. And yeah, it's a place where we can learn fundamentally what that means to do and be. So yeah, I really enjoyed sharing that with you and the other women in this round of the WellTuned Woman, and being in person at the retreat. We did do some virtual drumming, which, wouldn't you agree, is a totally different experience than doing it in person at the retreat?
Fun. It was fun, but yeah, in person was just like, it felt more like we got our whole body into it. It was almost like when, I don't know, I'm kind of old. So back in the 80s when we'd go to a dance club and we were all dancing and you get that adrenaline rush, that's what it felt like in person to me, more so than virtual. And virtual was great. I mean, it still was helpful, but in person, I got that adrenaline rush more so.
Yeah. When it comes to investing in the WellTuned Woman compared to other things, why would you tell another woman now is the time, or this is the thing?
Two things, really. One, again, that community of not being alone. But two, I would hate to see them waste as much time as I did before they found the answers. You know what I mean? When I look back and I go, oh my gosh, the last 4 years, I wish I knew then, right? What I know now. And so educating ourselves, our moms just didn't talk about this stuff, and my mom wasn't around. So she's no longer with us. So I can't ask her anything. And so, yeah, I think just the community, and then again, just not wasting your time, just jump in and get the answers. It's really helpful and powerful.
I do believe that every woman deserves to flourish now. That's so true. So we have benefited so much from our mutual interest in building businesses. You mentioned how so many leaders are attracted to WellTuned Women, and you are attracting authors who desire either to write their first book or to continue on to other books and see them make the kind of impact they want in the world. Tell me more about some of your most notable achievements in supporting authors.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. I have pivoted my business. I've been in business 15 years now on my own. And I've pivoted over the last few years to really concentrate on authors, speakers, and coaches, because speakers and coaches also typically write a book, right? So a lot of people will write a book as a resume type of format for them. And I've been reading since I was like 4 years old. So I'm very big on books. And what I have really enjoyed the most out of that over the last few years is I have one author that I worked with her. I'm very strategic. Clifton Strengths, that's my number one strength, is strategy. To come up with a strategy for her Facebook and Amazon ads that have, over time, you have to be very patient. Over time, we have enabled her to quit her full-time job to be an author full-time. And it has taken several years to do that. But with patience and strategy and testing, we've been able to do that. And so that is a huge achievement, because many of the authors that I work with, most of them are either self-published or hybrid published. And, everyone thinks, oh, I want to work for myself. I want to be a writer. I don't want to do this 9-to-5 job too, right? And so that has been huge for me to be able to help Danielle to be able to do that. Is just, I just love that, right? So that's been great. And part of that strategy has been not only the Facebook and Amazon ads, but the general promotions to increase her readership. Now, she is a series writer, and in order to do that, many times it does take series writing in general, having more than one book to be able to do something like that. But that has worked really well. And then helping her with the promotions to where we have strategically placed not only the ads, but I am very big on something called promo stacking, which you may have heard in some of my Books and Brew videos, where we stack promotions together in order to get you to that number one status, to be able to then brag about that, basically, specifically talking about Amazon. If you want to get to be number one in some of the newspapers and the other places, it takes a lot more strategy and money typically to do that. Whereas in order to claim a number one status on Amazon, you can do that rather easily once you know what you need to do, if that makes sense. And then you are able to have those bragging rights. And just being able to say that alone really helps to sell more books. It helps to, get your name out there. And so getting several of my clients to those number one statuses has been, very exciting. Like, we're refreshing Amazon all day long when we've got these specific promos going. I'm like, refresh, just to see what those numbers are. It's so fun and just really exciting to be able to, see them do that. And so, those things are huge for me. And just being able to see some of the strides that the authors have made. I have some wonderful, wonderful testimonials from, we just finished the first year of my membership, the Authors Allies Roundtable, and just getting their name out there, just getting some of those marketing pieces together. One of the ladies that I work with had a huge uptick on TikTok. Say that fast, uptick on TikTok not too long ago. And she's like, I don't know, all of a sudden my books are selling. And I say that's because she started getting that information out there. So many authors just don't have the time to, again, if they have a full-time job, they don't know what to do. And so we're really helping them to do it piece by piece. I mean, sure, if you want to pay me, I can do it for you. Like I do that for plenty of people. I mean, I have one-to-one services, but with the membership, I love being able to, just like with WellTuned Woman, working in that group where we're working together, we're sharing ideas, sharing what works, promoting each other. As you saw, like I promoted your book, I helped to promote the other ladies' books. And it's just really fun, to me, to be able to see all these women grow into their own, right? Like we are coming into our own and realizing our dreams. I mean, how many people when they're little go, I'm going to write a book someday, and they are like, and like to be able to sit there and go, I wrote this book, right? And hold it in your hands. Was that not just an amazing moment for you? I'm getting chills just thinking about it. That's an amazing moment. I mean, I have some journals and planners that I've published on Amazon, and I get those and I'm excited. I published magazines for 20 years before doing any of this. And every time I would get a new magazine, I'd be like, oh, look at this. It's just really exciting to see your work affecting the world.
It is. I don't know about you. Were you a yearbook editor back in your high school and college days?
Totally.
Me too.
Book editor, newspaper stuff. I just found one of my first newsletters the other day that I did in 1988. You'll see it on my Facebook soon. Dot matrix printer, cut and paste the pictures on there. Oh, it's awful. But yeah, wasn't yearbook fun? That was great fun.
I had one of my classmates from 1986 graduation contact me this week saying, where will I get another copy of my yearbook? And you always, for your whole life, become known as that yearbook editor. That's so funny.
That is so funny. Believe it or not, eBay. My sister-in-law bought my husband a yearbook because he didn't have any of his yearbooks. He never bought a yearbook. And she got on eBay and found one from his high school and gave it to him for Christmas last year. Oh, it was so sweet.
That is so sweet.
Yeah.
So you're really helping those visions of becoming a self-supporting author come true, to become a best-selling author, and also to build that promo stack so your book makes the impact that you want to make. You've already referred to some of the ways that you do that through membership in your group, through done for you services, and through higher level coaching. But if somebody's wanting to really test the water of working with you as an author, what's the easiest on ramp for them?
Sure. I have a free ebook. Conveniently, right here is a printed copy of it. The 10 steps to creating your ultimate book marketing plan. They can get a copy of that ebook. The ebook is basically like a mini workshop of the things that we typically recommend and would work on in the Authors Allies Roundtable membership. And then if they reach out to me, I am happy to extend a free 2-week membership to the roundtable. So they're welcome to come and join us, come to a meeting or two, see what it feels like. We have 2 tiers of membership, so they can either join just for the recordings and they get to come in person for the Q&A at the end of the month. So that's a very inexpensive way to test it out. Or they can come every week, and basically, I teach on a topic the first 2 weeks. The third week, we do like a planning for the following month. And I provide a lot of content because most authors, they don't know what to post. They don't know what to email. They don't know what to post. So I really help a lot with that. And then that fourth week is like a Q&A, an open Q&A. And we're probably adding some, and I have done a few co-working sessions here and there, writing sessions, some things like that. And I'm actually working on doing an in-person event, possibly sometime this year. It'll be in Ohio. Yeah, so we're hoping to pull something together for that as well. But they can definitely try it out. If they want to get the ebook, they'll get on my email list, so they'll kind of get a feel for the things that I like to do. They can follow me on social media. I've got my podcast is launching soon, which, hopefully you get to be a guest on there too. So yeah, it's, I'm trying to share what I can, so that if someone wants to do it themselves, they totally could. I share as much as I can, to just get the word out there. So they could definitely test it out. I'm happy to work with someone for that, but I've kept it as inexpensive as I can to be able to really serve the needs of the authors, which is so fun. I've enjoyed reading my whole life, so I want to give back what I can.
Well, you are a strong advocate for women meeting their potential, and to drop the excuses that may have hindered people making the progress and having the vision of their life realized. You're very a powerful woman in a group of very powerful women I have the advantage of knowing and giving and receiving support with. I thank you so much. Everything that you have offered today in the ebook will be connected through a link in the show notes. So our audience has easy access to that ebook. That is the entree to your world. And appreciate you so much for offering such a clear resource. People who maybe already have a book or are questioning whether it's worth writing a book, if they can really make the impact with the book that they want. This is an amazing resource, so they can be rest assured, no matter what stage their book is in now, that there's going to be a way forward, that the book is going to have the impact and reach that they want it to have. So thank you so much for being my guest today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Remember, together we have everything we need.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Brain Health Hookup. I hope this episode radiates with the conviction that generating mental wellness needs to be fun and safe. We want you to find your power and understand your innate design to flourish in everything you do. And we hope that inspires you to come back and listen for more. I'd love for you to leave a review of this podcast, as it helps this show grow to reach more people who need to make mental wellness fun. You can find the leave a review button, as well as all the YouTube visuals, bonuses, and ways we can help to support you on our website, podcast.grooveforhealth.com. I appreciate you more than words can say. See you next time, and remember, together we have everything we need.